Imagine if I told you that one of the world's most powerful natural stress relief supplements was discovered over 3,000 years ago. Long before modern laboratories, before pharmaceutical companies, before neuroscience even existed, ancient Indian healers were already prescribing a mysterious root believed to restore strength, sharpen the mind, improve sleep, and even slow aging. For centuries, many dismissed these claims as folklore, but today, scientists around the world have conducted hundreds of clinical studies, and many of those ancient beliefs are now being supported by modern research. This is the incredible story of ashwagandha. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this ancient herb has become one of the most researched natural supplements on Earth. Welcome back to the channel. If you enjoy videos about science, history, hidden discoveries, and fascinating knowledge that bridges the ancient and modern worlds, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now, let's travel back thousands of years where the story begins. Chapter 1. The herb that survived thousands of years. More than 3,000 years ago, physicians in ancient India practiced a holistic medical system known as Ayurveda. Rather than treating diseases individually, Ayurveda focused on balancing the body, mind, and spirit. Among hundreds of medicinal plants, one stood above all: ashwagandha. Its scientific name is Withania somnifera. The name ashwagandha literally means the smell of the horse. Interestingly, this wasn't just because the root smells like a horse. Ancient practitioners believed it could give someone the strength, stamina, and vitality of a horse. In Ayurveda, ashwagandha earned the title of a rasayana. A rasayana is a rejuvenating herb believed to promote longevity, vitality, immunity, and mental clarity. For thousands of years, it was prescribed for kings, warriors, scholars, and the elderly. But for most of history, there was little scientific proof behind these remarkable claims. That would change in the 20th century. Chapter 2. Science begins to investigate. As modern science advanced, researchers became curious. Could there really be something special inside this humble root? Chemical analysis revealed that ashwagandha contains dozens of biologically active compounds called withanolides. These natural compounds appear to influence multiple systems in the human body. Researchers began testing the herb in laboratories. Then came animal studies. Finally, human clinical trials. The results surprised many scientists. Instead of affecting just one function, ashwagandha appeared to influence stress response, sleep quality, inflammation, hormone balance, immune function, and even cognitive performance. Few plants had shown such broad potential. Chapter 3. The stress hormone. Let's start with what ashwagandha is most famous for: stress. When we're stressed, our bodies produce cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone. In small amounts, cortisol is essential, but chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated. Over time, high cortisol can contribute to anxiety, poor sleep, fatigue, weight gain, reduced concentration, and weakened immunity. Several randomized controlled clinical trials have found that ashwagandha supplementation can significantly reduce perceived stress while lowering cortisol levels in many participants. Scientists believe ashwagandha acts as an adaptogen. An adaptogen is a natural substance that helps the body adapt to physical and emotional stress. Instead of acting like a sedative, it may help regulate the body's stress response system. This makes it fundamentally different from medications designed simply to suppress symptoms. Chapter 4. Better sleep without heavy sedation. Millions of people struggle with poor sleep. Ancient Ayurvedic texts recommended ashwagandha for insomnia centuries before sleep science existed. Modern research has begun to support that tradition. Several clinical studies report improvements in sleep quality, shorter time to fall asleep, and better overall rest. Interestingly, ashwagandha doesn't appear to work like conventional sleeping pills. Instead of forcing sedation, researchers believe it helps reduce the underlying stress and anxiety that often interfere with healthy sleep. Lower stress, better relaxation, improved sleep cycles. It's a more indirect but potentially more sustainable approach. Chapter 5. Brain power and memory. Could one plant actually improve brain function? Researchers have been exploring exactly that. Some studies suggest ashwagandha may improve attention, memory, processing speed, and executive function. Scientists think several mechanisms may be involved. First, reducing chronic stress allows the brain to function more efficiently. Second, ashwagandha contains antioxidant compounds that may help protect brain cells from oxidative stress. Third, laboratory research suggests it may support healthy communication between neurons. While larger studies are still needed, the early findings have generated significant interest among neuroscientists. Chapter 6. Strength and Physical Performance. Perhaps one of the biggest surprises came from sports science. Researchers began giving ashwagandha to healthy adults engaged in resistance training. Some studies found participants experienced greater improvements in muscle strength, muscle size, and recovery compared to placebo groups. Other research suggests ashwagandha may improve cardiorespiratory endurance and overall exercise performance. Scientists believe lower cortisol, improved recovery, and reduced inflammation may all contribute. This could explain why ancient warriors valued the herb centuries before gyms and sports laboratories ever existed. Chapter 7. What about testosterone? One of the most searched questions online is, does ashwagandha increase testosterone? The answer is more nuanced than many advertisements suggest. Some studies involving men with infertility or chronic stress have found improvements in testosterone or reproductive health. However, evidence in healthy men is less consistent. Scientists generally agree that ashwagandha is not a miracle testosterone booster. Instead, by reducing chronic stress and improving overall health, hormone levels may improve in certain individuals. It's important not to confuse promising research with exaggerated marketing claims. Chapter 8. Immunity and Inflammation. Inflammation is the body's natural defense system, but chronic inflammation has been linked to many long-term health conditions. Laboratory research suggests ashwagandha possesses anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Some studies indicate it may help regulate immune responses rather than simply stimulating the immune system. Researchers are still working to understand these complex interactions. Although results are encouraging, ashwagandha should never be viewed as a cure for disease. Instead, scientists see it as a potentially valuable complementary supplement within a healthy lifestyle. Chapter 10. Why isn't everyone taking it? If ashwagandha is so promising, why isn't every doctor prescribing it? There are several reasons. First, herbal supplements vary enormously in quality. Some products contain very little active ingredient. Others are contaminated or improperly standardized. Second, not every study reaches the same conclusions. While evidence is growing, researchers continue to call for larger, longer-term clinical trials. Third, ashwagandha isn't appropriate for everyone. It may interact with certain medications. People who are pregnant, have autoimmune conditions, thyroid disorders, or take prescription medicines should consult a healthcare professional before using it. Natural doesn't automatically mean risk-free. Chapter 10. Ancient Wisdom Meets Modern Science. Perhaps the most fascinating lesson isn't simply that ashwagandha works. It's what this tells us about human history. Ancient civilizations didn't have microscopes. They had observation, experience, generations of accumulated knowledge. Many traditional remedies disappeared over time. Some turned out to be ineffective. Others, though, like ashwagandha, contained insights that modern science is only now beginning to understand. This doesn't mean every ancient claim is true, nor does it mean science is replacing tradition. Instead, science provides the tools to test ancient knowledge objectively. Sometimes those tests reveal remarkable truths. Ashwagandha isn't magic. It isn't a miracle cure, and it's certainly not a substitute for proper medical care. But decades of scientific research now suggest that this ancient herb may genuinely help support stress management, sleep quality, cognitive performance, physical recovery, and overall well-being in many people. It's a fascinating example of how ancient wisdom and modern science can sometimes arrive at the same destination thousands of years apart. Perhaps the greatest discovery isn't that ashwagandha survived history, it's that history may have been right all along. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the science behind ancient discoveries, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more fascinating stories where history meets modern research. And here's a question for you. Do you think ancient civilizations knew more about natural medicine than we give them credit for? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.